Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the back example shows us how to verify inverses. And doesn't verify mean to prove that something is true? So our focus on the back side of this worksheet is for me to give you two functions and you to tell me, are they inverses or are they not inverses? So, ladies and gentlemen, the rule says inverse functions. Two functions, f of x and g of x, are inverse functions if and only if f of g of x equals x and, switch it around, g of f of x equals x. Isn't that interesting? Does that look familiar though? Is that composition of functions from our 6-1 assignment? So here's the idea, ladies and gentlemen. If two functions are truly inverses of each other, and you put one inside the other, all of the inverse operations will cancel the numbers out, and you're just left with variable x standing by itself. Wow. Okay, look at example 1. Let's determine whether f of x equals 2x minus 7 and g of x equals 1/2 times the quantity of x plus 7 are inverse functions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, review. These two compositions mean exactly the same thing. So it's your choice. You can choose either one. And they are not multiplication. Okay? Kids like to say f times g or f times g because they definitely look similar to what we've used multiplication for, right? But Algebra 2 students, these are not multiplication. These are what we call composition of functions, and you use the word of. F of g of x. F of g of x. Okay, let's find our first composition. F of g of x says take the g function and input into the f function. So here we go. F of g of x would equal 2 times parentheses. Now inside the parentheses, will you place the g function? And then minus 7. Now, in this case, let's just go ahead and multiply 2 times 1/2. Is that an inverse operation? Cancels out, right, Pavan? Then look what's left. Plus 7 minus 7. Is that an inverse operation? Now, go back up and read the definition. If two functions are inverses, f of g of x should equal x. Ta-da! Okay, now that's just part 1. There's a part 2 to this. G of f of x, and then let's put f once again, do you see inverse operations sort of taking control here, taking over? Minus 7 plus 7 cancel out. 1/2 times 2 is 1. So ladies and gentlemen, write down on your paper, yes, these functions are inverses. Yes. And this is like a proof. We proved it. We verified it to be true. We verified it to be true. Okay, example 2. Go for it. F of g of x. Part 1, f of g of x. So let's input the g function inside of the f function. Anybody have any questions about that? Now simplify. X minus 12 plus 1/3. I was not able to simplify this to equal x. So you can stop right there, because both have to be true, and if one composition is not true, then you just stop and say no, f of x and g of x are not inverses. Okay, now I've given you several of these at the bottom of the page. Will you please verify and then write yes or no if they are inverses or not?